SMART goals and objectives are an important planning stage in any event. It is a key promotional plan and will provide context for developing a strategy. As stated in Van der Wagen and White 2018, it is an effective way of ensuring that all internal parties have a clear understanding of the big picture and desired outcome for the event. Any new idea or opportunity should be considered against the set goals. Assessing the outcome of these SMART goals and objectives will give valuable insight into the success of the event. The first SMART objective was to have 8 teams of 7 to 9 players, each to have registered and have paid their participation by the end of week 12. Not only did we achieve this goal, but we beat it, having had 10 teams of 7 to 9 players register to participate, adding to the entertainment factor and overall event atmosphere. The second objective was to have at least 50 spectators to attend the event. We estimate to have had at least 50 spectators at the event, not including 69 participants that took part in the futsal tournament itself. Throughout our Facebook page and Eventbrite, we were selling free tickets to our game. We sold 138 tickets before the event. However, some players did buy tickets as well as registering their teams, so that 138 isn't a true indication. If we assume that all 69 players got a ticket, then we could say that the other 69 tickets went to spectators of the event. Therefore, it can be said that potentially 70 plus spectators attended our event throughout the course of the night.
The third objective was to raise at least $1,000 thanks to various donators on the day of the event, and the donation promised support to the event. Despite generous donation from the sponsor, we were able to get on the ball. We unfortunately fell short, only raising a slightly disappointing total of the $441. For the sponsorship, couldn't potentially hope to boost that total. We didn't have as many people donating on the night, and we had hope. However, it wasn't the worst result possible. The entire event is still considered a success. The final SMART objective was by week 4. The group was to have opened the GoFundMe page, given the opportunity for public to get tickets, thought Eventbrite and the team will be able to apply and pay for the registration. We did achieve this successfully, with the GoFundMe page raising $270 and 138 tickets being installed through Eventbrite, and all 10 teams successfully registration and playing third job. It can be said that the event was a success. Despite not raising as much as our goal was, the event still ran successfully, beating most of our goals that we were set.
In this part, I will be talking about how the SWOT analysis links in with our event. To start off with strength, experienced group members helped us a lot, especially at the start, as the team was stressed out and flustered. Experienced group members provided us with security and confidence. Early contact with sponsors in the planning stage helped the whole event to go smoothly and kept attendees occupied. Early contact with Greater View and Jeremy Baranowski Gray ensured that the event was recorded and pictures were taken. No one got hurt at the event. However, having a person there with first aid qualifications provided security and ensured the safety of each person at the event, both player and non-player. In terms of weaknesses, how far we lived from each other and from the venue proved to be a hassle. However, from a good planning, we all got there at a good time to get everything together prior to people coming. As a result of different schedules and timetables, some people had to take time off work and some had to come from prior commitments, but it didn't stop us from getting things together prior to people coming to the event. Creating a pool of funds to pay for the event was a weakness of ours. However, we didn't have to pay for anything ourselves. All expenses were paid with the bank account for the event, which was made up of funds from registration and funds raised from the event itself. In terms of opportunity, this is the kind of thing that can happen again. The event received excellent feedback from attendees, and teams were actually grateful that we put this whole thing together, especially for a good cause. Additionally, teams at the event also involved a mix of race, ability, and gender, emphasizing the idea of equality. From the survey, it was seen that prior to the event, attendees had minimal knowledge of Northcott. However, while being at the event, it gave them the opportunity to learn more about the charity and what they do. Having Tony as a guest speaker emphasized this point. On to Threat. Thankfully, the conditions were perfect and we did not have to put up the marquee. However, it was just cold, which was something we could not really control in terms of attendee comfort. Restricted time at the venue as well as restricted space was a threat to us. However, due to effective planning, organizing and time management, the event was completed by 10:30 and packed up in half an hour. Thus, we didn't have problems with security. And finally, unruly athletes and spectators. Realistically, this did not turn out to be a threat. It is clear that in this environment, competitive personalities would show. However, it was all friendly and it didn't go too far as to become a threat.
The planning stage. Planning in the lead up to an event is crucial, as without it, our event would have been disorganised and ultimately failed. Our main focus when coming into the event was to have everything organised and locked in the week before the event. This way we could handle any curveballs that were thrown our way. We achieved this by implementing our timeline, in which we listed every job that we knew needed to be done and set out guidelines and dates for when they needed to be completed. We held weekly meetings to review our progress and go over the next steps for the event, and we also delegated roles for the event to ensure that the implementation of our planning stages would go smoothly, as everyone knew what they were responsible for before the event and could plan for it.
Review of the event. To review the event, it is important to consider both what went well and what we could have done better as a team to improve this event, and also evaluate the challenges we faced and how we dealt with these challenges. Our event had many positives to take away. Firstly, we had a great turnout, selling 138 tickets on the night, which meant the event was lively and active. Moreover, through the survey, we received feedback that was overall positive, large amounts saying they enjoyed the event and could not wait for the next one. Although the event had multiple successes, there were also areas in which we could have improved the event. Firstly, I believe we could have encouraged more donations on the night of the event to increase the overall money we raised for Northcott. Furthermore, I believe we needed to improve our time management skills in order to run the event in a smoother fashion. We ran over time on the night, which created issues with security and the attendance. We faced multiple challenges with the event on the night. We had an issue with the lighting for the main fields where the games were supposed to take place. The lights would not turn on and thus meant we could no longer use this area to host the games. We also faced an issue with time management, as mentioned earlier, as the event ran over time. We overcame these challenges as a team and came up with the appropriate solutions that would help keep the event enjoyable and practical for the attendees. With regards to the court lighting not working properly, we solved this problem by moving the games to the fields outdoors where the lighting was more sufficient. It did mean the area of the event was significantly smaller, however we reorganized the sponsors and the other areas to fill the event and make it fit properly. Secondly, with regards to the time management issue that we faced, we dealt with this by reducing the time of the games in the final playoff rounds from 15 minutes to 10 minutes. Although we still ran significantly over time, we reduced the time in which we ran over by changing the length of the playoff games by a large amount. Overall, I believe although we could have improved the event in certain ways, this event was a success, and upon reviewing this event, I feel as a team we worked well and were able to appropriately deal with the challenges at hand and ensure that these challenges did not hinder the experience dramatically of the attendees. I believe we also raised significant awareness for the Northcott charity.
First of all, we believe the proceedings of the event went very well, as a lot of the responses from the feedback survey provided positive feedback in regards to the event evaluation. Out of 30 responses we received from the night, 82% of the respondents mentioned that the event was excellent and was super happy with how things went. 14% mentioned that the event was good, and 4% mentioned that the event was neutral. Respondents loved the football factor at the event and how quick and easy the transitional fluency was between the games. The structure provided teams to play and rest with comfortable yet minimal wait times. One of our main objectives was to make sure attendees were more aware of the Northcott cause as a result of the feedback survey. 60% of respondents were unsure of what Northcott was prior to the event, as 40% of respondents knew about Northcott and what the charity is about. This allowed more attendees to be more aware of the Northcott cause and what they do for the disabled community in our nation. Negative feedback was kept to a minimum, as they were only focused on two factors of the event, which were unable to generate team names through registration and the lack of food options. Overall, the event was a major success, with the majority happy with the event, and a lot of attendees responded positively and were asking about the next event and where it will be held.
Let's now talk about our budget review. First, our revenue. We had planned to obtain about $700 from team registration. which was nearly achieved with one less players than expected. Unfortunately, we were not able to find and convince company to sponsor us financially. And as said earlier, we could have raised more money for our squad, but some issue during the nights didn't help us out. Concerning the location, thanks to Western Sydney University, which provided access to the Kingswood campus outdoor fields, we didn't have to pay a site rental fee. Also, they provided us one security cards, which turns to be cheaper as we plan to have two. Therefore, it was not necessary to outsource this to a private company. About the food, we spent a bit more than expected on food during the nights, as we wanted that most players and attendees to be able to have something to eat. We put enough bottle of water to provide everyone needs. For audiovisual, we invest more than budgeted on audiovisual, so we could have pictures and an after movie in a professional and qualitative form. You'll be able to see the result after this presentation. Sound systems were generously lent by some relatives, so it was not necessary to invest in a new equipment. Then, collateral materials. The budget allocated to this equipment was balanced in the overall. Also, poster cost less than expected thanks to some negotiation with the company. To conclude, we lower our expected cost by more than $200, but on the other hand, we didn't make as much profit as our objective. Therefore, we learned how we could improve this event in case we organize a new edition.
We need to come together. If it's around, a little ball, we can have a kick around. In the end, doesn't really matter who wins. Everyone wins when they come out and connect with their teammates and with the community. So.